Hey guys, hope you're well. I'm in the Dublin Mountains. This is one of my favorite places to hike. And just this crazy thing just happened. These group of hikers ran past me, and I believe they were American. And this one guy, as you can see, it's raining out, and he slipped and tripped, and he landed on his shoulder. And I was thinking, oh my God, he broke his shoulder. We're out in the middle of nowhere in the forest. How are we going to get this guy to a hospital? He was agonized, in absolute pain. But I got him up. I checked him. It seemed like things were working okay. I think he's going to get checked, but it seems like he's going to be okay. But it prompted me today, and I just on the spur of the moment, I want to talk about the shoulder. I think it's a great subject. I have some great tips for you. And so here we go. We're going to talk about shoulder pain. We're going to talk about adhesive capsulitis, bursitis, frozen shoulder, and all these things we're going to talk about today. You may not know this, but the shoulder is one of the most complex joints in the human body. This is firstly because it needs to give you both mobility to move your arm in all directions, and secondly, it needs to provide stability to allow all the bones, the muscles, the ligaments, and tendons of the shoulder to work together. At the core of your shoulder pain is your core, and what I mean by the core is the muscles that support your body, and we all have an idea what the core is, and most people think it's the muscles in and around here, and even most experts have an idea that the core is only here and around the waist. And while this is somewhat true, these muscles are only a small piece of a much larger picture. Simply put, your core is anything that connects to your pelvis above and below. So on a deeper level, before I get into some of these great tips, I want you to think about sitting and your sleeping positions right. So with all the moving and connected parts that make up the shoulder, it's not uncommon to experience injury. If this is you and you are experiencing shoulder pain, I have some great tips that are designed to help relieve your pain. And one of these tips was given to me by a 90-plus-year-old man who absolutely agonized in his shoulder pain after falling off a ladder. And he came up with this phenomenal, simple way to reverse his shoulder problem and his pain. And I'm not sure you're going to find a better tip for shoulder pain than this. Before we begin, it's critical to note that there may be many different causes of shoulder pain, and because each body and everybody's different. So it's always best to speak with your healthcare practitioner before you begin any of these exercises to determine which is best for you. Now that we have that out of the way, I'm going to talk to you about what to do about your shoulder pain. Typically, when you see someone with shoulder pain, they try to avoid using that shoulder. People with adhesive capsulitis, bursitis, frozen shoulder, most people will have their shoulder tensely or closely guarded against their body. And this is because an essential part of reducing your shoulder pain is getting that shoulder to relax. So while protecting your shoulder is useful for preventing your shoulder from getting further irritated, stretches can be performed to relax that shoulder even more. Here's a real low-tech way, and it's my favorite shoulder exercise. I just found a stick, any branch. You can see them out in nature. You take the stick, and let's suppose that this is my involved shoulder. The shoulder is causing me pain. Wherever that shoulder is, if you can't get it up any higher, work where the shoulder is. And so you want to get the pole behind your neck like this. And what you want to do is elongate that as much as you can. Just stretch that arm out and just slide that out like that as far as you can go. Okay? You want to just stretch that muscle. Okay, here's a real simple one. Here's a guy, like I said, he came to me 90-plus years old. He fell off a ladder, landed on his shoulder. He was in agonizing pain for about a decade. He tried everything, nothing worked, so he came up with a simple solution. Now, the obvious is generally the last thing for us humans to figure out, and this is so obvious. What he did was he went to a local playground, and they had a pull-up or chin-up bar. Okay, something like this. And I'm going to use this as an example here. And he obviously had no range of motion in his shoulder. So what he did was he put a chair in front of him. He got up on the chair and got as far as he could go with his arm. And then he just simply bent his knees and leaned into that. And he let the weight of his body pull those muscles. And over time, he did more and more and more. And eventually, he was telling me that he was actually swinging from, here's a 90-plus-year-old man swinging from a chin-up bar. I tested his shoulder. I just wanted to see the difference. And his daughter was there. His shoulder was 100%. He had strength, he had flexibility, mobility. His shoulder was working the way a shoulder should. Here's a real simple one. You don't need anything. A table would be ideal. And so what you want to do is take your, again, we're going to assume my left shoulder is the problem. You want to take your hand, place it on the table in front of you. Your knees need to be about 75 to 90 degrees flexed. And all you want to do is grip with your hand and just simply walk back to as much pressure as you can handle. And that's it feels lovely, and it just distracts the shoulder. It's a real good way to open up this joint. Then if you want to take it to the next level, you can go down further, down to about 90 degrees, and lean back and let your weight distract your shoulder. Real simple, and it works really well. Okay, here's a simple one. Let's suppose your shoulder is really bad and you want to take a baby step. This is what they call a pendulum exercise. And again, all you need is a chair, a table, anything to rest your arm. And so what we're going to take is we're going to start with our knees slightly flexed. And let's say my involved problem, or the problem where the pain is, again, is on the left side. I'm going to take my good shoulder, my good hand, place it on the table. I'm going to lean forward and let, with a weight, a rock, the thing that works really good is a milk carton. And this way you can gradually increase, if you fill it with water or sand, you can gradually increase the weight of that. So you can start really light and work your way up. But what you want to do is you want to take something heavy, as much as you can handle, and let your shoulder just relax. And the key thing is just let your shoulders relax. Disengage your muscles, and once your shoulders relax, start moving your hips and let that shoulder just sway. And then ultimately what you want to try to do is get your shoulder moving in circular movements, and that's key. You want to go clockwise and counterclockwise, and that's a really good exercise. In this exercise you're going to need something to stand on, and you're going to need a wall, a pole, anything to get your arm up. And I'm sure you can find this. Okay, it's real simple, and it's a good way to really monitor your progress. And so let's say if you can only get your arm up to here, you can put a mark there, and then you can have a goal for tomorrow. But what you want to do is you want to just, let's pretend my right shoulder's a problem. You want to reach, let's say my hand's on the wall, and you want to just gently walk your hand up the wall. And while you do that, just kind of put a little bit of weight on that shoulder, stretch it out, bend your knees, and walk your way up. Real simple, and it's a great way to judge your progress. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. And we have some fantastic videos coming your way. I believe next week we're going to be talking about the core, so you're not going to want to miss this. And I will see you at the next video.